Hello, friends. Hello, hello, hello. All right, here I am live with Mr. Pumpkin. Get real with Linda. This is episode number 2 on my YouTube channel. Thank you all for joining me in my bedroom with Mr. Pumpkin. Can you believe Mr. Pumpkin? He goes by so many names. So his real name is Pumpkin, but I have to say Mr. Pumpkin so people know that it's a boy. But Pumpkin, Mr. P, Punky, Little One, he has Baby Cat. He has a lot of different names. And he also has some Norwegian names because he lived in Norway for a while. So, the story today of Mr. Pumpkin, I want to tell you because he is so old, which is more like he's actually a super senior cat at soon to be 23 years old this coming June of 2023. So he was purchased by me when I lived in Raleigh, North Carolina at a flea market. And I bought him for $100 from a lady that lived up in the boonies in outside of Raleigh. And she had lots of cats, kittens rather, for sale. And he was one that I picked up and he bit me. And I was like, I'm going to take this little devil. Look at what he does to my hand. It's funny. He likes to like be inside of my hand and he likes to lick my hand and just be inside of my hand like this. It's really weird. He does a lot of funny things. So I purchased him for $100. Then I picked him up the following weekend because I was going to be out of town. I picked him up the following weekend on my way home. And as soon as I got him in my car in a cage, he took a shit. So then I had to stop and take the crap out and keep driving because I had like an hour and a half drive to my place. And then I took him to the vet. I think it was just a few days later to get him checked out. And the vet was like, he is much too young to be given away because he was very little. And then the next thing was he had fleas. So not only did I get him at a flea market and pay $100 for him, he came with fleas. Okay. So they had to shave him, and the vet told me to bathe him. She gave me some special flea shampoo, and she warned me that, wear gloves when you bathe him because if not, he may scratch you and bite you because he had claws back then. And I ended up bathing him and I had gloves on and nothing happened. Then the next time I took the gloves off and boy, did he scratch and bite me. It was a whole ordeal showering him. I had him in the bathtub, bathing him, putting conditioner in after the shampoo. And this poor little guy had the fleas, but we got rid of them. And he's actually had fleas many times after that from being pet sitted. And then, I don't know if that's a word, pet sitted. And then the people that take care of him have been around other animals. So then he has gotten fleas, poor guy. But he's still doing good. He's very active. He drinks a lot of water. He gets a lot of love. And he eats really well. He eats dry food, which is there always available for him upstairs and downstairs. And then he has wet food, which he loves. He loves either tuna or salmon. He'll go through spurts where he doesn't want it anymore. So then I'll get him something else. But he will be eating about a can of wet food a day. Now, as you can see, he's not very big. He's very furry, especially long, furry tail. And he only weighs about 7 or 8 pounds. And that's what he's weighed pretty much his whole life. Now, there's lots of funny stories with Pumpkin. There's some that I don't want to tell you on here because I may get in legal trouble. But the thing with Mr. Pumpkin is he has traveled a lot. When I first got him at the flea market in Raleigh, I later took a trip to the beach with some girlfriends to Wilmington, to Nag's Head, and he went with us and stayed in the hotel room with us. And he was just a little kitten at the time. And then we just had the maids not clean the room so that he was able to stay there. And then he has been to Ohio. I went there to see a friend of mine at the time. Oh, look at he also likes this when I tickle him or scratch his little paws. He likes that. It's funny, huh? So then he went to Ohio with me. We drove from I think I lived in Raleigh or I lived in Atlanta, and we drove from there. I think I was in Atlanta to Ohio, and he stayed there with my friend. He had to stay down in the basement because she wouldn't let him up in the house, but he stayed there for the weekend. And then he went to Florida with me, and we drove from that was from North Carolina to Florida, and he visited my mom, his grandma's house in Florida, and he stayed there at least a long weekend, if not longer. So he went to a lot of road trips, and he was good in the car. He's still pretty good in the car, but he doesn't go very often, so it's a little more scary now. And then he has been on an airplane from Raleigh to Orange County, California, where he traveled on his own, and he had a layover in Atlanta. So he went from Raleigh to Atlanta to Orange County, California. He has also flown from Orange County, California to Seattle, where we walked around with him at the airport on a leash. And then he's been to Norway. He lived in Norway with me. And he's been to some other countries as well. And he lived in Atlanta with me as well. So Mr. Pumpkin has lived a lot of different places. He's traveled a lot, more than some humans. He eats well. He drinks a lot of water. He walks up and down the stairs every day, many times. He loves to cuddle. He loves to get attention, of course. Sometimes he gets into little howling episodes. And I was hoping he would say something here. Maybe he will soon. But today's live on Get Real with Linda is the episode of Mr. Pumpkin, telling you a little story about him. He likes also to get his nose dirty because he's very nosy, and he often sticks his nose in different corners, and then his nose gets all dirty. He has 3 litter boxes. He uses usually one of them, and then he pretty much always poops on the floor every day now in his older years. And if you leave him alone for too long, he will piss on the floor, which I'm not happy about. So sometimes he just stays up here in my bedroom. Other times he has access to the whole house, which is really his desire because he's pretty spoiled and he likes what he likes. So there you have it. That's the story about Mr. Pumpkin, 22 and a half years old. His birthday is either June or July. I'm not sure exactly on the date because when I got him from the flea market, the lady that I got him from wasn't truthful about his date of birth. So I'm not sure. But at the time he had, I think there was like 5 siblings. They were very similar to him, but he was the only one who bit me. So I said, okay, I will take this guy. I will take this guy. Yeah. So that's the story of Mr. Pumpkin. He has been in cars. He has been in airports. He has been on planes. Hasn't been on any trains. He's been in hotel rooms. He's been hidden in various hotel rooms. And he's a lot of fun. He won't say anything now. Maybe he knows that he's on video. Now he's going to come up and he's going to scratch the back of the computer. because he loves to get his scratches. He gets a lot of knotted hairs, especially now when he's older because he doesn't clean himself so much. But we get that out with a comb. And he has his own little water fountain. Let me show you. You want to see his water fountain? Let me show you his water fountain. There you have it. That is Mr. Pumpkin's water fountain. He loves his water fountain. I got that for him. I had one, and then he didn't like it anymore. Then I got him a new one, but you can see he loves it, and he loves to drink from the water that's coming from the fountain, not the water that's staying in the bottom. So that's it, I think, because he won't say anything, but you'll probably meet him again if you come on here with Get Real with Linda, and you will likely meet Mr. Pumpkin again. So thanks for joining us today on episode number 2. I will see you again in a week from now. Get Real with Linda. My name is Linda Turgeson, and my company's LTLTE stands for Learn to Love to Exercise. You can find me on Facebook under my name and under LTLTE, Learn to Love to Exercise. Thanks for joining. Happy Saturday.